Hello YouTubers and my loyal patrons. Tonight we're going to look at how to paint light in watercolour. This is gold. This is one of the most brilliant subjects to cover because, you know, a watercolour that can convey that feeling of light coming out of the page is a beautiful thing. So let's get painting, guys. Let's get on the page, get some paint, get some brushes and just start creating this light. Let's go. And I just wanted to say thank you to the 8,000 subscribers or over that I have now. I really appreciate all your support and I really hope that you guys are getting some benefit from these videos. I really do endeavour to help you guys, like whether you're a beginner or whether you're trying to do large abstracts or you want to paint huge on watercolour paper wrapped around canvas. There's lots of different varying videos on this channel, but it's all about watercolour and it's all about understanding the medium. So thanks for joining me tonight and let's get painting. Alright, let's get painting light in watercolour. So obviously all the brushes that I use will be in the description, but it's highly likely I'll use a fair few different hake brushes. That's a bit of a given when it comes to me. Let's get a few out just so they're kind of ready to go. Generally what I do is I wet all my hake brushes. I've got some different ones here. I've got some Atelier Silver Alpine whites and some Ransons and some Holbeins. I've got some nice big jars of water here. I've got the mixing one here. You can't see everything that's on my desk, but there's bowls of wash. You guys don't need to use bowls of wash. You could just squeeze paint out of a tube straight onto some sort of palette. So as per usual, I'm just going to wet this whole thing. So I'm just going to use a spray bottle to just wet it. Everything that I use will be in the description below, but this is a half sheet of Rives BFK, which means that it's 28 centimeters by 76 centimeters. If you're just learning in watercolour, then I suggest you work smaller initially and then work your way up to working bigger. So I'm just wetting the page here and we're going to come in with some nice warm colours. I'm just going to come in with some light. I'm going to use a bit of yellow ochre, but a very, very light version of it. I'm just going to come in with a bit of light here. I'm going to come in with some light down in here. Nice. I might just get a little bit of a brighter yellow, a bit of Winsor Yellow. I'll just bring that in. Just rinsing the brush out. So the idea when you're painting light in watercolour is, for me anyway, is to leave some white of the page, and I think this is where our light source is going to be, here and here. And if I want the white of the page to be here, really bright, you've got the yellow, but if you want it really bright, then it's probably a good thing to come along with a tissue and just lift out some lights here again on the water. So I'm just doing the tissue, then turning it, because otherwise I'll push this pigment into the paper. So that's why I throw a few tissues away, but we'll just get a little bit of light there. And we've already got the white of the page up there. And so what we might do now is we might just come in with some darker dark. So I'll just bring in a little bit of Cobalt Cerulean. Let's do a bit of Cobalt. Cobalt Blue. We'll just bring in here. The light's going to be there, and then just bring in some clouds here. We'll bring in some darker darks in a bit. We'll just bring this in for now, because because this is going to come in here. That's going to be darker in a bit. Let's grab a bit of dark now. Super dark. Let's rinse that out. Just warming that off a bit. Just get a bit more that blue there. So if we want some light coming here, then we're just going to dab away here. Where some light is, there's some light coming out from here too. Let's use a tissue. Light, even a bit of light coming out from here. A bit of light here, here. Get a little bit of blue here. And again, we're just going to crispen up the edge of this cloud here. We'll let this one just go off here, nice and soft, but we're just going to keep crisping up here, because this is where the light is. And the light's coming out under here too. Just using a tissue to just have a bit more light here. We'll just dry this and then we'll come back in and do another layer. Just before it dries, we'll just get a little bit of light coming through here. It can be pretty subtle. Just really light use of the tissue, not heavy. Partially dried now. Turning the tissues. Alright, so the next layer I'm going to do, I'm going to wet this all first. So I'm going to get a nice wide hake brush. If you didn't have a wide one, you could just use a smaller one. There's a very soft touch to bring this across. You've got to make sure it's completely dry, and then we'll just bring this across here. Beautiful. Alright, now I'm going to bring in a little bit darker sky now, so we get some better highlights between light and dark. I'm even going to start to bring in a little bit of foreground here. And sometimes I just have some brushes very flicked out, ready to just... Right, let's keep going. Get a bit of salt on here. Bit of salt. Nice. A bit of flicking. Darken it off just a bit up the top here, just a bit. Right, I think we're almost done. I've obviously got to stand back a bit. Alright, we might just play with this. Let's see what happens. I might just add a bit of colour to this, just to give it a bit of a pop. We'll see how that goes. Out some lights. I'm just using a flat nylon to lift out some lights a bit, and I can come back in when it's totally dry as well. Using tissue as a chiseled edge to just get a few lights. Just putting in a little bit of this Cobalt Turquoise. So there's a little bit of that colour just reflected up into the sky. I'm just going to scratch out some lights. Lights are going to be just here. With a razor blade and a ruler. Just going to bring in some light here. I actually think this is a better subject over here a bit. When I stand back, this is a better subject to have here. So what I'm going to do is just come in with a wet brush. And just darken this off a bit here. Bring in a bit of yellow ochre there and just I think that works better now. Wow, long painting process. It's meant to be a very simple, quick watercolour on how to paint light in watercolour, but the last thing I'm going to do with this is just come in and give it a little bit of definition right up at the top bit here. A nice sharp razor. So thanks for joining me tonight in how to paint light in watercolour. I'm really sorry, this did take a bit longer than expected, but I hope you gained some insights into how you might go about painting light and good free brush marks, how to use some salt, flicking with a toothbrush, and then just adding layers upon layers and just seeing what you can end up coming up with. So thanks very much. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Good night. Oh yes, and if you like this video, please press like. And if you want to know about future videos, then press the subscribe button and press the bell button. And yes, press the subscribe button and press the bell button for all notifications, and then you'll get my videos a bit. So thanks guys, I really appreciate all your support. Any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next week. Good night.